Taurus Tarot. I'm here with your mid-month update for the month of August 2018. Just quickly before we get started, I do have most of the readings for the signs for the mid-month updates posted, so if this doesn't resonate with you, if you just want some more information, make sure to check out your moon and your rising signs. I also have all of the readings posted for the August monthly readings. So again, if this doesn't resonate with you, do make sure to check out your sun, moon, and rising sign for the August monthlies. They're a little bit longer videos and a little bit more detailed in terms of the reading. So let's go ahead and get started. I do read the spread a bit like a 5-card Lenormand spread for those of you who are familiar with that style of reading. I also want to go ahead and preface this by saying that this is not a very positive reading. So if you're here hoping to hear some really positive messages, then this reading's definitely not for you, because I can't really spin this in a positive light. So, maybe check out your other signs. I know that these negative readings usually get a lot of thumbs downs and whatnot, but I'm just going to be honest with you guys in terms of what I see here. My moon sign is Taurus, so I'm apparently roped into this with you guys, so I'm right there too. I do just want to be transparent about that, so if you're here hoping that you're going to hear something positive or that I'm going to sugarcoat this, then the answer is no. So I'm probably not the reader for you if that's the case. So to start off, the one card that I really do like is the Four of Cups in reverse. In the upright, this guy he's got these 3 cups here, so he's got a lot already, but he's just focused on this 1 cup up here that's really kind of unattainable. It could also be about somebody like the universe trying to bring in something, and because you're just kind of in your own headspace and overly preoccupied, you kind of miss whatever it is that the universe is offering you. But generally, this is a card about just being really apathetic and not really caring about anything. So in the reverse, I do normally like that better, because it does show kind of a willingness to be aware of what is around you, what you do have, also to make realistic choices and decisions regarding what is and is not attainable, and also kind of a firm kick in the pants, really, to rouse yourself out of that apathetic state and be more open to kind of actively living your lives. So that is positive in that respect. But because it is surrounded by a lot of negative cards, it could also be this sign of the energy being blocked. Like maybe you are steadfastly and stubbornly remaining stuck on this 1 cup and not being aware of the 3 that you already have, or not caring that they're there. I know that Taurus can be a stubborn sign. I'm the same way, so if that does apply to you, you're gonna know. But it's kind of like, if that energy is just blocked and not the opposite of the actual upright version, then the universe is kind of telling you that you need to stop being so stubborn. Like, you need to wake up and realize that something you've been wishing for or hoping for probably isn't going to happen. And once you do have that realization, things are going to kind of begin to shift for you. We have the 7 of Cups here in the upright. The 7s are all about choices, and with the 7 of Cups, you can see that all of the cups are filled with these different objects. Some of them are dangerous, some of them are real and tangible, and others are kind of just unattainable. And it's all about choosing which cup you want to pursue, what you want to invest your time in, and making sure that the choice that you make is going to be something that you can ultimately capitalize on. If you do make a decision or choose a cup that holds something that's intangible or something that's even detrimental to you, then you kind of have to go back to the drawing board even though you've invested a lot of time. You know, you're at the 7, you're kind of approaching the 10. Even if you've invested a lot of time and emotion into this thing, you have to kind of be real with yourselves and realize that either you made the wrong choice and you have to go back to square one, or you just need to move on as best you can. But you're gonna know if that pertains to you, because I think you would have been having this sort of back and forth struggle with yourselves in terms of you know, what choice needs to be made, which path is right for you, and whether or not you pick the right path if you have actually made that decision already. Next to that, we have the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. This can symbolize issues regarding, you know, your finances, maybe your home life. In the upright, this is usually about some sort of established financial or material situation. So for instance, if you've shared a home with somebody for a long time, that would be something that could fall under this. Also family money, you know, familial ties, inheritances, wills, that sort of thing. You know, things regarding your material world, and usually things that are long-standing because you are at the 10. Sometimes this can symbolize something like a divorce. So maybe you have been kind of contemplating whether or not you want to stay in your marriage or in your long-term partnership. You know, maybe you share a home with somebody. You don't even have to be married to them. Maybe they're just a roommate, and you're trying to decide whether or not this living arrangement is right for you. With this card being in the reverse, again, this could also be being done to you, so somebody else may be making this decision. Maybe there is a decision made to end a marriage, to end a long-term live-in situation. Because this can also be related to wills and inheritances, and we do have some cards over here symbolizing pain and loss. Maybe some of you guys have or potentially will be going through the death of a family member or loved one. If you have already gone through this, then obviously you're going to know whether or not this applies to you. If you have not yet gone through this, or this doesn't make sense, then don't freak out all of a sudden. If there is a situation where somebody's in poor health, where somebody passes away, I do think it's going to be something that has been going on for a long time. You know, we do have the 10 here. So I don't think that it's going to be a complete shock to anybody. For instance, if your 98-year-old grandpa dies, you know, it's not going to be a complete shock because he's old. Maybe he wasn't in great health. That doesn't mean it's not going to be sad. It's just going to be something that people have kind of foreseen coming. You know, if your younger brother or whatever dies, that would be a complete shock. And that's not the kind of energy that I'm getting here. You know, there's no Tower, there's no 10 of Swords, like that kind of sudden ending, that sudden abrupt cutoff. So, you know, again, a lot of readers don't really like to talk about death, but it happens as a part of life, and that could be pertinent to some people, especially if there is a need to, you know, figure out things on a legal front. You do the will and testament, divvy up the estate, whatever that may be. Make sure your documents are in order, because we do have the Justice card here, and that's all about legalities. Even with it being in the reverse, kind of overshadowing your whole reading, maybe there are just some delays, things taking time in terms of legal paperwork, potentially regarding the death of a loved one. Again, I do just want to emphasize that if this has already happened to you, you're going to know that this is relevant to you. You'll be in the midst of this energy these next couple of weeks. If this hasn't happened to you and this makes no sense, don't just start thinking that your family's going to start dying off. You know, this is going to be something that I think people will see coming. Like maybe somebody's dealt with a long-term illness, or they're just really old and their health is kind of declining. Like you're going to know who this person may be. So don't get completely hung up on that. Again, it can even be about marriages. There could be the divorce. It's just going to play out differently for different people. The energies that I don't like over here are this Three of Swords and the Five of Cups. So the Three of Swords, that's pain, heartbreak, grief, suffering, you know, insert negative emotion. The one little caveat to this card is that you have all of this dark energy here, these dark clouds, but right above it, you have these lighter clouds, and you can kind of see sunlight peeking out behind there. So it's like whatever it is that you're going through, whatever pain or heartbreak, whatever that may be, is something that you have to feel, like you have to interpret those emotions and allow yourselves to grieve properly, go through this painful process, and be comforted by the fact that it's not going to last forever. There is sunlight behind all of those clouds. There is, brightness behind the pain. And, if you're grieving somebody, the death of somebody, or the loss of a long-term relationship, time can help heal those wounds. You're never going to be 100% because people who come into our lives and leave a lasting impression on us, those aren't people that you could ever just 100% forget about and get over. So, you're going to go through this pain if you haven't already. But it's positive in the sense that eventually those sores are going to fall out, your heart will heal, and you'll have gone through that catharsis. So that is a bit of a positive spin on this because, we do have the Five of Cups card here. This is all about mourning, grief, regret, mourning the loss of these 3 cups, but there's still 2 standing behind this man. And again, sunlight creeping out here behind that little horizon line over the hill. So there is this element, if you are going through this on an emotional level, if you are experiencing this pain, suffering, heartbreak, whatever it may be, a divorce, a separation, a death, whatever the case may be comforted by the fact that there are better days ahead. Allow yourselves to fully experience this emotional process, to go through that catharsis and come out better for it. The one positive thing about these cards both being here in the upright is that I think a lot of you guys are going to allow yourselves to feel these emotions, and that's always the first step to healing, rather than bottling everything up within and refusing to confront something, to face reality. Whether or not you're the one making a decision to leave a marriage, or it's being done to you, or you're experiencing some sort of loss, whatever the case may be, you're not holding yourselves back by retaining all of that negativity within. So that is positive, because the more you allow yourselves to experience these emotions, the easier it's going to be to come to terms with things and to start to move forward. Again, I just want to echo that we have the Justice card in the reverse here, overshadowing your reading. It's the overall energy. So again, there could be some sort of legal situation here. If it is the loss of a loved one, again, dealing with the courts and maybe inheritances, death certificates, wills, whatever that may be. If it is a marriage, then kind of working on divvying up assets. If there are children involved, doing custody agreements, whatever that may be. Maybe there's some delay with that, with the Justice card being in the reverse. Or it's just a sign that the process has not yet been completed. You're going to be kind of in the midst of this for these next couple of weeks. You're probably going to know if that's relevant to you because these legal processes are so drawn out. A lot of you guys might be in the middle of this already. I do have a Lenormand card here to give us a little bit more information regarding what this could be about. And you guys have the Heart card, which is a really positive card. A lot of people get happy when they see this card in a Lenormand spread, but because it's clarifying this just tells me that whatever this situation is, this negative situation, this grief or loss or heartbreak or whatever, it's most likely related to either A, your love lives, because you see the 2 people here kind of staring at each other lovingly, or B, just something that is very emotionally rooted for you. So it doesn't have to necessarily be somebody you're involved with romantically, but it could be somebody that you care for deeply and love deeply. And again, if it's not necessarily like the loss of a person, maybe you've lost your job or whatever the case may be, it just shows me that there is a lot going on for some of you guys emotionally for these next couple of weeks. This is something that is hurting your heart. And there's definitely this need to, I don't want to say like embrace the loss, but really just come to terms with what is going on and allow yourselves to go through that grieving process, whatever it may be relevant to. So I'm really sorry that this isn't a positive and upbeat reading, but there are apparently some people who are going through a really tough time and who need to hear this message. If this doesn't resonate to you, again, always make sure to check out your moon sign and your rising sign videos. There may be more information there that's going to be more relevant to you. Also check out your August monthly videos. And I also want to just re-emphasize that not to get hung up on me bringing up this whole potential familial death situation. I know that's probably going to freak some people out, but I think if you're going through that, even if it hasn't happened yet, you're going to know whether or not that's relevant to you, because I don't really see anything being a surprise here. Same thing for divorces. It's not going to be a surprise. Marriages don't fall apart overnight. You guys are going to know whether or not this is relevant to you. If none of this makes sense, don't try to go fit it to your situation. Don't just say because your grandpa is 75 years old and now we have to worry about him dying and getting his will all together and stuff. Don't freak out about that. You're going to know whether or not this is relevant to you, and this is probably going to be a reading tailored toward only a few people. It's just a very small group of you. So again, that's why I really want to emphasize to your sign to check out the readings for your other signs and also the monthly readings, because there's probably going to be some more relevant and more generalized information in those readings. So I kind of hope that this isn't relevant to you guys, because it's a sucky situation to be in, but if it is, please go ahead and let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, even though it's not positive and upbeat, I would definitely appreciate a thumbs up, sharing the video, subscribing to the channel. Thank you to all of you guys who have already given me thumbs ups and subscribed and have shared the videos, left encouraging comments. It's extremely appreciated. The more traction that these videos get, the more readings I can do for you guys, the more time and energy I can devote to the channel. I do want to do some different readings moving forward, so maybe doing love and relationship readings for you guys specifically, and also possibly doing weekly readings. It's just going to depend on what the demand is. So with all that being said, thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you in a couple of weeks with your monthly reading for September.